Hello, everyone. I am Jackie Vernon-Thompson, owner of From the Inside Out School of Etiquette. I am an international etiquette expert, and I absolutely love what I do. I believe that I am walking in my purpose. This is why I am on this earth, because on a daily basis, I change the lives of children and adults by teaching proper conduct, proper etiquette, proper decorum, and helping individuals to learn how to respect their fellow man and learn how to be graceful and refined. That's what I do on a daily basis, internationally and locally. We're located here in the sunny state of Florida. We teach virtually and in person. We travel. We do whatever is necessary to ensure that our potential clients and students are able to access our teachings because it changed lives.
Diversified game. Learn how to start, run, and sustain your business.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, I have the queen of etiquette. She's located right here in South Florida. Miss Jackie Thompson is going to give us the game on etiquette, and I hope that for some of you, I want to offend some of you to wake you up because, man, you can't buy a class, and it is on the decline, what they tell me on them streets. Miss Jackie, welcome to Diversified Game. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me, Kellen.
Thank you for
How are
coming on.
you?
I'm blessed by the best, always, always. And let's get right into it because we're gonna, a lot of the listeners are entrepreneurs trying to get into entrepreneurship, and a lot of people think, what do you mean etiquette? I can show up however I want in the room. I can start with whatever fork I want. I can use whatever language I want. Men, oh, Miss Jackie, you'll tap into this, please. I see so many men walking women down the street and they're on the wrong side. So I'm like, even the pimps know, that ain't your woman if she's not on the inside. So
Exactly.
let's talk about etiquette and why it's still so important nowadays.
It is so important. It is not an antiquated concept. It is very much a current concept that many people need to demonstrate. Unfortunately, we're in a society where people just feel they want to do whatever they want to do. And whether it offends someone or not, they're just going to do it. Freedom of speech, freedom of everything. Yes, but we must know that there is a time and a place for everything, and there's a proper way to conduct yourself. My basic definition of etiquette, summarizing everything, is conducting yourself in a way that doesn't offend others. And so you want to be conscious of how your behavior, your language will affect the people or the person in your presence. And that's a problem that society, the majority of the individuals in society are having, being concerned about their conduct and how it affects others. So, in reference to our wonderful men, we can't do without them. What is this world, or what is a family without a man? And so, teaching our men how to treat ladies and how to conduct themselves when in the presence of a lady is very important, because a family without a male is kind of like it's imbalanced. And a couple, if let's put it this way, Kellen, if I am a lady, and we want to keep in mind that just because you're a female doesn't automatically make you a lady. And just because you're a male doesn't automatically make you a gentleman. So if I am a gentleman, I definitely would like a lady, not just some female. And if I am a lady, I definitely would like a gentleman. So it would behoove me to work with our men and women. And that is exactly what I do, to make sure both genders are able to embrace the refined protocols that I teach.
And you teach this, in person. You even have your CDs. You have your book that you guys check out the book. Links will be in the description for her website so you can find all of this, but it has great reviews. And you guys are thinking about Christmas already. Well, if you're going to do that, then do something they can actually use. But you're here in Florida. We're talking etiquette and, we're talking gender roles. And sometimes they make us seem, those of us who have like a traditional background. Like, we are so old school, outdated, like, like a beta machine. Most people, y'all won't know what the heck I'm talking about. That's okay. But okay, VCR, maybe some of y'all would know what I'm talking about. But how easy are you to get into the school districts, given the governor, and I think the majority of Indians,
I'm sorry, for some
gender,
reason you're
to still
breaking
be able
up.
to gender roles, because in 10 years, who knows? Okay, let's see what the internet, they don't,
Yeah, you're breaking
okay,
up
we'll
really bad.
pause real quick.
Okay.
The internet.
Now you've frozen.
All right, is it any better?
Yes, you're back.
Okay, I just had to switch internets. I was saying the internet doesn't even like me saying this, so I'm going to repeat it. 1 second. I'm going to repeat what I just said.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, Miss Jackie, we're talking, etiquette, and you were talking so gracefully about gender roles. And in 10 years, who knows if we could even talk like this, because in some states, this would be so outdated. Oh, this is old school, how a man should treat a woman and vice versa. They're trying to complicate things. So for those of us who can remember like a VCR and, what a CD player, how immersed that was, and we're old school, how easy was it for you to get into the school district to teach this? Did you get a lot of pushback in the state of Florida?
I actually did not, and I do not receive pushback. However, before I address that, I just wanted to gently make a correction. I do not have CDs, I have DVDs. They're illustrative videos on the DVDs, and they're downloads available of that series of DVDs. So if you prefer to have the soft copy, you could definitely go on our website. Now, in reference to the pushback in our schools, I have not had any pushback. I've had many schools and principals and so forth request sitting and walking gracefully, chivalry for their young men, and a number of different topics, because they understand rather, that I am traditional, I am very current. However, I respect choices. So when I go into the schools, I go there to teach a topic. I do not discuss gender or preferences. I don't go into that type of discussion. I simply teach the topic. If you feel that you do not want to be a part of the chivalry class, you're not forced to be a part of it. We totally respect that. If you feel that you don't want to be a part of the sitting and walking gracefully because you don't feel that you're a lady, you don't want to be identified, that is completely respected. So I try to make sure that even though I'm here to teach a topic, if you choose not to participate, then so be it. It's totally respected.
All right. And I'm glad that's clear. And in case the internet tried to mess me up, I was giving a shout out that she has the book as well that has great
Yes.
information, has great reviews on Amazon. You guys check out the links in the description. And, if I said CDs, oh, yeah, forgive me. I was trying to go way back. I might as well said tapes. Uh,
And the name of my book is my Amazon #1 bestseller. It's called Transformative Etiquette. All that you need to know about etiquette to place you on the path of refinement. Go ahead and purchase it on Amazon or my website if you'd like an autographed copy.
Now, talk about what got you into this, and, what type of training did you have? Were you one of those Jack and Jill and cotillion type young ladies in the day, and you just fell in love with it? How did your journey come to getting into etiquette?
I love this question because this question gives me the opportunity to acknowledge my God. Because no, I've never been in a cotillion. I've never attended a finishing school, as they used to call it back in the day. I was reared by a wonderful woman, my mother, who reared 5 children. And so we did not have the extras for cotillion and so forth. So the interesting thing is, I got to a point where I was seeking my purpose. I knew I was not living a fulfilled life. I was a real estate agent, which I still am a real estate agent. However, I knew that was not my purpose. It paid my bills, but it wasn't my purpose. So I began to pray and ask my creator, why am I here? Because I was not fulfilled. What do you have for me to do? And I can tell you that one particular night, after attending church on a Wednesday night, I prayed and I asked God to reveal to me why I am here. And that night, right before my slumber, the Holy Spirit spoke to me. I had never endeavored to be an etiquette consultant. It wasn't my dream. I never thought of it. It wasn't my passion. Nothing of the sort. When he spoke to me right before I fell asleep, a Wednesday night in January 2014, he said, I want you to create etiquette DVDs and an etiquette school. And that was it. The next morning, I spoke with my husband and told him what occurred. He said, well, if God said it, we have no choice but to obey. That's 10 years ago.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. And so coming from the non-cotillion Jack and Jill, a lot of people think to go to a finishing school or to have this type of training, you have to spend tens of thousands of dollars. Talk about, what it really takes. Do people need to tell their schools they want to book you? Or is it something that maybe a family or two can get together? Because I've seen you put like online some, big classes together. And I'm just thinking about that person who says, well, we don't have any of that, or we homeschool. How do we get these services? And can we afford them?
Absolutely. Once I established the fact that I am going to be an etiquette consultant and start the school, I'm going to be obedient to the word of God, I decided to do research because I had no idea this thing existed. So I researched and I found a couple schools, not in Florida, in Dallas, in California, where I was able to be certified. So I attended the classes online and went through everything, and I became certified by two schools. I did research, and accessed the resources that can take my school to the next level. Of course, remember, I knew nothing about this. And I just hit the pavement. I just hit the pavement marketing. Now, keep in mind, I realized that God was preparing me for this step. I had no idea because while I was in school, I minored in marketing. Even though I received a degree in communication, I have another degree in commercial arts and I minored in marketing. So once I established the school, I marketed like crazy, which I still do, as many people notice. And so that got the word out to different individuals. I contacted the school systems and became a vendor for Broward and Dade County, which is in Miami, for those of you who are not aware of Dade. And so with that, me posting and marketing, the schools became aware of what I do. And the calls and the emails started coming, and they don't stop. I am so grateful to God because since January 2014, the school has gone to another level, one that I could not imagine. Right now on social media, we have over 3 million followers. And I'm so excited because many of those followers are converted into clients and students. And so God is blessing. I have no complaints about this. I'm so excited to see what is going to happen in the coming months, years, and so forth.
And were you raised here in Florida?
I was born in Montego Bay, Jamaica. However, we moved here when I was 7 years old. So they call me a Jamaican.
Okay, and I asked that question because some people hear, how even pronunciation of words and say, "Oh, you must have been raised in the British system with the Queen's English and all of her fine tea." And so, that's why I asked that question, do you find that, you've been able to pull from those Jamaican roots when you're doing etiquette because of the British connection and how things are so proper? I say that because I was telling my 10-year-old today, there's no way you can microwave tea. In London, they would want to slap you. And she was like, what do you mean you can't microwave tea? I said, it's an abomination. What are you talking about? The queen would rise up. And she's like, isn't she dead? I'm like, yeah, she'd rise up. But does that Jamaican roots and that system, did that have it bring anything back or say, oh, yeah, my grandmother told me that or my mother told me that?
Well, I'm definitely a product of Jamaica, full-fledged, and it is in my blood. And my mom was such an amazing woman. I say was because she passed away 6 years ago. Will never, I'm always grateful for all that she's contributed to my life. And she's always required that we dress decently, that we use the proper grammar, and that we respect ourselves and respect others. So that kind of infused who I am. Of course, not kind of, it did. And so it all automatically helped me to adjust to the new things I learned, the new protocols I learned as I do research and as I gain more education on this industry. And adding to the point that I have a degree, I earned a degree in communications. That is where I realized God was preparing me because proper communication, proper grammar, effective communication is very necessary in this industry if you call yourself an etiquette expert. And to be honest with you, I did not begin to call myself that. Others began to address me as an etiquette consultant because I write articles for Huffington Post, Southern Living, and a number of different periodicals and different companies. So they address me as an etiquette expert, and I claim it and I own it and I embrace it.
Awesome. Well, give us the real on some of the things that just someone listening can work on themselves or even with their children because, I love Florida. I've been here almost 4 years, but sometimes I go into the grocery store or go into a store and say, "Oh, I didn't know we could wear that inside the grocery store."
Mm.
And it's usually something the ladies. I'm like, "Oh, okay, we're just gonna have all of our bathing suits here, and that's just and it's just okay." And just because you put some lace over it, I'm like, "Huh, okay." And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not mad. I might be mad if other people start wearing it. I won't go there with you, but can you talk about some of the things that you see that are like just an abomination that we could work on ourselves right now?
Absolutely. The appearance that I see out there is, as you said, an abomination. What I would like everyone to consider, and I share this with my students quite often, is that when you're dressing to leave your home, make the mirror your best friend. Understand that we communicate verbally and non-verbally. Your appearance from head to toe communicates. You don't have to say a word. When you step out your door, if you go into the public, be sure that you understand that your dress, your pants, your shirt, your shorts, your skirt, your hairstyle, the colors you wear communicate something. So for those of you amazing people who believe that showing up in public in your pajama pants or bedroom slippers or hair bonnet and so forth, if you believe that that is okay, it is not. Because the message that you're sending is saying, I don't care. Accept me the way I am. Well, newsflash, we don't have to accept you the way you are. We could simply move on to the next person who was prepared to show up in public. So understanding that your appearance communicates non-verbally is a major thing because for some reason, many in society just doesn't believe it. They don't understand non-verbal communication. Also, be very careful of your language. I would advise everyone, and this is what I advise my students on a regular, to seek to use and seek to find intelligent words to express yourself rather than the F word, the B word. Really, what does the F word mean? That's my question. I've asked my students that. What does the F word mean? I just don't understand. Why not use a word that everyone would understand that effectively expresses your thoughts? And so we have to deal with that because we offend others quite often with our language, the blah, 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 whether it's on TV or in person. And so we need to address that.
Hello everyone. Come along with London and Sydney as they show you around the vibrant country of Cameroon. Explore the heart of Africa through the eyes of London and Sydney. Two explorers who journey across the great city of Yaoundé, exploring its rich culture, vibrant market squares, cultural heritage, and wildlife. With giggles and excitement, London and Sydney Explore Cameroon takes you on a fun-filled adventure, providing insight into the country's culture and traditions through the pages of this book. It's packed with exciting stories and super cool facts about Cameroon that will make you go, wow. Get your copy now, available on Amazon and in libraries near you. There's only one easy way to experience the exploration of Cameroon, and it's through London and Sydney. Don't wait, get yours.
You say the nonverbal communication, and I remember seeing your interview. You talking about a surgery you had done as a kid, and when you opened your eyes, you saw your mother's eyes and that unconditional love. You don't have to say anything sometimes. So when you have your pants sagging down, are your full assets out, it says a lot about you to people who may want to do some business with you, who may want to help you out with something, or maybe you can help them even more importantly, but how you present yourself. What about, what you're seeing, online? You hear everybody who's single talking about what it takes to be a woman, what it takes to be a high value man. I am guilty of some of this. For those who know, I consult YouTubers all the time, big and small. So it's always interesting when they find out who, your clients or past were. But what are you seeing when you see online and you're like, that's not even what a relationship's all about? How, as an etiquette coach, what are you seeing out there online on these online streets?
Well, one of the things that I share with my students, especially the adult women, because I work with adults as well, and of course, I advise my girls that just because you're a female doesn't automatically make you a lady. And the same with the gentlemen. So when I see couples out there, whether in person or online, sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I wonder if they've been taught the proper way to conduct themselves when in the presence of their significant other. For example, I've seen countless times, even at church, a couple walking to the car, and the gentleman goes on his side and he allows the lady to go on her side. They both enter the car. The key is in the ignition for him, and she's not even in the car yet. And I'm like, wait a minute, where did we go wrong? This is not antiquated. No, it is not. It is proper for the gentleman to walk to her side, open her door, allow her in. And of course, we want to make sure as ladies, we take a moment and express gratitude. Thank you so much. I've been married for 12 years, and every time my husband opens the door for me, I am saying thank you. Even if we enter the home and he has opened the door, I am telling him thank you. I never take his chivalrous conduct for granted because he doesn't have to. And a lady takes the time to express her gratitude. He seats her. Thank you so much. All of that, the words thank you should be spewing out of her mouth. And that motivates him to treat her like the lady she is.
You know what? And I do that. But the real part about it, like that, when you're in a relationship for, I've been married 17 years and going, it's, you open that door, you do all that, but then you hear, don't close the door, it's too hot, and hurry up and start the car, right? So now you
Well,
gotta.
you know what? It's so funny. I've said that to my husband. However, the way you say it is what
Mhm.
matters. The car has been sitting there. It's hot, especially in Florida. You know that. It's very hot during the summer. And sometimes when he allows me into the car, I do ask him, no need to close it. I've got it, babe. And something soft. And he understands because it is hot in the car. I have to wait for him to go to his side and open it and start the car. However, it is the way you say it. In addition, Kellen, if a lady dates a gentleman and he doesn't open the door for her or seats her, it is okay to gently ask him to do it because every man was not taught to be chivalrous. So a gentle lady would say, it would make me feel really nice if you were to open the door for me, or it would make me feel so special if you were to open the door for me. Not, are you going to open the door? Of course not. You can open it yourself with that attitude, right? So be graceful with your words. It's okay to ask for something. The way you ask is the big issue there.
Amen. And let's just go. Jackie can't say this, but I want you guys who follow and listen to me, ladies, in every single situation, you might have to teach him how you want it. Hello, I'm saying in everything, left to the right, let him know that this is how you want it, because people get their stuff from TV and social media and think, oh, this is the way that it should be done, not understanding that the people you're listening to online are as single as a donut and haven't had a lasting relationship that lasted over 5 years with 2 marriages. I'll just leave it at that. But that's very important. What about in the restaurants? Have you seen
Ooh,
anything in the restaurants?
you just read my mind. I was like, we cannot leave here without talking about dining etiquette, which is huge. One of the things that I notice on a daily is individuals sitting at a table, a family, a couple, and both are on their cell phone, all are on their cell phone. And there is no way that you can have a great experience when, as soon as you sit at the table, he pulls out his phone, she pulls out his phone. Who's communicating? And so I emphasize to my students that when you're in a restaurant, or even if you're having dinner at home, make it your goal to dine, which means you're having an experience. You're enjoying the food. You enjoy the conversations with the other guests or your partner at the table. You enjoy the ambiance of the table and the ambiance of the room and the beautification of the table. You have an experience. That is what we need to do. We need to be present when we're having such special occasions. Individuals need to walk away from their cell phone and allow themselves to be present and communicate. We are lacking communication in society today. In addition, we want to learn or try to take some classes. Call me. Get to know how to use your knife and fork. Go to our website, www.fromtheinsideoutsoe.com, and contact us. Get to know how to use the knife and fork. Those index fingers are key when dining. Of course, I teach the American dining style and the continental dining style, which is what we learned in Jamaica. It is the British way, the European way. And so it's important to know the difference because I believe every one of my students who I've worked with are greatness. And so they will be in environments where they are subjected to such settings, and using that knife and fork and knowing how to pivot that fork into your mouth when dining in the continental style is major. And so let's step up the game a little and access the resources so that you will know how to conduct yourself when having multiple courses in an upscale restaurant or when you're dining with dignitaries.
Well, talk about that in those two dining styles, because I have somebody who listens, and I was telling them in person that, you could actually eat that pizza with a knife and a fork. And, they looked at me like, Who does that? So are there any times, with those dining styles that it's okay to eat with your hands? Is it okay with the crab or anything to eat with your hands when they go to your etiquette training?
Absolutely. There are things called finger food. Of course, pizza is a finger food. However, if you would like, use your knife and fork. It's your choice. However, it is finger food. Wings are finger food. Sandwiches, chips, hot dogs, and so forth. Chicken nuggets are finger food. However, if you're not eating any of those items, you must be using your utensils. And I know it is cultural because in some cultures, in their private community or their local community, they use their hand or they only use a spoon. However, when you step out of that community, if you travel abroad, you must know how to use the knife and fork, and that's extremely important. So in the American dining style, they allow you to hold the knife in your dominant hand, which we're very flexible here in America. So if you're left-handed, the knife can be in your left. However, in the continental style, it is much preferred for the knife to be in your right hand and the fork in your left hand. You don't release the knife and fork when dining in the continental style. You simply rest your wrist at the edge of the table and pivot the food that you've cut in your mouth with the fork in the left hand. It's kind of difficult to demonstrate right here. However, in the American style, once you've cut, you switch the fork to your dominant hand, you rest the knife at the top of the plate, and you feed yourself holding the fork now like a pencil. The fork is upward. In the continental style, the fork is continually downward. Now, there's a formal and informal way to dine in the continental style. And so when it's formal, the fork is always downward. Informal, if you want to do that at home or in a very intimate social environment, you may turn the fork upward. However, the majority of the times when dining in the continental style, make sure that fork is downward.
And I can hear somebody say, sometimes I can hear the haters, why we got to do all that? Does it take all that? I'm from wherever I'm from, and where I'm from, we eat with our hands and we talk the way we talk. Because even in Texas, there'll people like, I don't speak English, I speak Texan. So does it take all that, Miss Jackie?
Well, it doesn't take all that for someone who just wants to be who they are. However, it takes all of that for someone who wants to be refined and polished and well-rounded. It doesn't matter if you were born and reared in Florida. Do you plan to travel? Do you plan to make an impression? Well, then you probably want to embrace some of these protocols so that you can make a good impression when you're trying to climb the ladder of success, when you're trying to close a deal at a dinner. Because, hey, many times we want to, let's have the meeting over lunch. Let's have the meeting over dinner. They want to see if you know how to conduct yourself at the table, if you know how to interact with the staff. Yes, thank you. No, thank you. Are you just going to demand things and be rude? That says something about your character. And many times you can close a deal or lose a deal at the table.
There you go. So if you want to secure your bag, you will make sure that you have your etiquette for wherever you are going. Can you tell us a community give back that you're doing? And I know you have a nonprofit as well, but a community give back that you're doing, or one that you would like to do in the future.
You've done your homework, Kellen. I have to be careful with you. That's awesome. Yes, we do have a nonprofit called Youth Empowerment Village, where every summer we gather up to 40 students, ages 10 to 17. And for 5 weeks, we teach them effective communication. We teach them public speaking, proper etiquette, of course, and professionalism. This camp is held during the evening from 6 to 8:30 p.m. Matter of fact, it's going on now. And we teach them all of those niceties and all of those protocols so that when they get older or as they grow, they're able to conduct themselves in a professional way. You're never too young to be professional. As long as you understand the concept, you can be professional. And guess what? This entire camp is absolutely free. Compliments of grants and the donation of the building for the city of Lauderhill and different municipalities helping. Once we teach them all of those things for 5 weeks, they are transformed. And then a couple months later, we take them to our capital, which is Tallahassee, and for 4 days they're able to interact uh, and dine and converse with the senators and the state representatives. We're actually in the building every day for 4 days, getting to know these individuals who run their state and who pass the laws, rather. So they're able to go to the next level and see things that they would not see had they not been in our camp. That's one thing. I'm also very involved in what some of our local municipalities do as far as giving back. I believe that if you have a business and you do not have some give back component, there's something wrong, because the center of everyone's purpose is to serve. And so there must be some give back, some service component in what you do. It can't all be about what am I going to receive. You must be able to give back. So I make it a point to give back in our local library where individuals come. Hey, in next month, I'm going to conduct an absolutely free workshop for our African American library. Individuals who are in that community are not really up there as far as income is concerned. So we're conducting a free class for them. And we just continue to do that. It's all about giving back at certain points.
And you are giving so much. And again, you guys, you can go get the book, you can get the DVDs, but she also has for free 99 a YouTube channel and other social media and Instagram showing you, Facebook, showing you what she's doing, because there's so much she's talked about. But I'm not going to let her give it all, because I want you to go support, go tap in where she can tell you and your children, and may need to tell some of y'all grown folks about celibacy. Personal hygiene. I've heard in the dating pool on both the men and the women's side, it ain't what it might have used to be. Some of you don't know to wipe front to back or back to front. I might be saying too much, but there's even public speaking and business etiquette and just all of these things that you can tap into. So don't think that you've gotten the full game. Look in the links in the description and really go find out more, purchase something, get involved.
Yes.
What is something you can leave the people with? Because we can't give it to them all. It's too much. This is a lifetime of work that you've done, but let them know where they can find you, and just maybe one more tip so they could just leave so fulfilled and happy.
Absolutely. The most powerful tip and most common tip that I share with everyone that many people are not thinking about, just consider your conduct and how it is impacting others and how it will impact others. There is some impact. And I encourage everyone that when you interact with individuals, seek to be an asset to their life and not a deficit. Show them how to do things, be an asset, compliment them. Oh my gosh, compliments go such a far way. It's like so many people are looking just to be seen. They want to be seen. And so by you taking the moment to just say, oh, you look so nice today, or your hair is so nice, or to a gentleman, I love the way you look as a gentleman. And it doesn't have to be seductive or anything like that. Don't dwell on it. Just be open to giving compliments, because compliments is only to make another person feel good. And so if you receive a compliment, be sure to return one. Now, the thing about giving compliments is that if you do not see anything physically, go ahead and compliment their character, compliment their personality. Oh, you're so sweet. That is so nice of you. That is a compliment within itself. So don't allow someone to give you a compliment and you just say thank you and that's it. return something because they're trying to make you feel good. Now it's your time to make them feel good. One of the things that we do, Kellen, is also certify individuals who aspire to be an etiquette consultant. We have over 270 etiquette consultants worldwide in Africa. We even have one in Pakistan, India, all over Jamaica, Bahamas, Trinidad, of course, America. And so we have people all over the world teaching conduct and have been taught by me through our 5-week certification class via Zoom. And that's how you're able to join us internationally. So get on our website and join the industry because we need you. We need to spread the word about refinement.
Yes, amen to that. And to the gentleman who likes to reach out to the beautiful women on this program, this one has told you she has a husband, so no need to reach out unless you want to get services so you can learn how to get your own woman. Maybe there's something about you, and you know who I'm talking about because I'll tell you to your face. Don't bother my guest unless you're going to support, support them. So I appreciate this. And I hope that you guys who have listened to the end, I hope that you put your comments, you like it. But most importantly, if you do nothing else, share this game with somebody. It will change their life. You guys be blessed.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stress the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand or 10,000 Kenyan shillings or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.